Okay, and we're just making some brine here for the cheese. Now we're not going to need this until tomorrow morning, but it does need to cool off after we make it, so go ahead and boil the water now. Going to make our brine before we start on the cheese, and that way it'll be very cool when we need it in the morning. Okay, we've done our prep work. Got the brine made. We've got our stock pot here. It's on the Breville Polysilence Control Freak induction cooktop. You can do a water bath to do this, but if you have an induction cooktop with a temperature probe, you can use that as well to maintain the temperature. That's what we're going to be doing here. You can see I have my cultures. This is my thermophilic C starter culture and the propionic bacteria powder. And then in this container we have a 1/4 cup of water with a 1/2 cup of rennet dissolved in there. Alright, so I'm going to go get the milk and we're going to add that. Okay, so we have our milk here. This is raw milk. It's whole milk. And I got this in Washington. So we're going to put 2 gallons of this in our container. Okay, and you can see with 2 gallons of milk, or 8 quarts, the probe is in the milk, and we can see that our probe temperature, the milk just came out of the fridge, so it's 41. We have the probe control set to 92, so it should heat this up to 92 degrees. Okay, so we have reached 92 degrees here with our induction cooker. So the next step now, we're going to take our culture and our bacteria, and we're just going to spread those over the top here. So just gonna sprinkle that. Okay, and we're going to let that hydrate for 5 minutes. So just give that 5 minutes for that to absorb the moisture, and then after that we're going to whisk it up and down. I'm going to pause the video instead of making you wait 5 minutes. That alarm is telling us that it has been 5 minutes since we put the cultures in. So it's time to incorporate them into the milk. So take our whisk that we sanitized earlier, and we're going to mix in an up and down motion. Get the bacteria that is floating on the top to fall down into the milk. Just kind of get that all mixed up. All right. Now our next step is we're going to cover and we're going to maintain 92 for 45 minutes. So put our lid here, and I'm going to set a timer for 45 minutes, and we'll be back when the timer goes off. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. At this point, if we weren't using raw milk, we would need to add some calcium chloride, but I am using raw milk, so we're going to go straight to adding the rennet. So I've got the rennet dissolved in a 1/4 cup of water. So pour that in. Whisk it up for about a minute. Alright. Now, we're going to cover it back and let it sit for another 45 minutes. And at that point, the curds should be giving us a clean break, and we can move on to the next step. Alright, it's been 45 minutes. I'm going to check, and we're getting a nice clean break on the curds there. So we're going to cut these into about a 1/4 inch with our curd knife here. Some cuts in at an angle so we can cut from the side there. Alright. So now we're going to stir it for 20 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, counting down.
As you're stirring, you may find some chunks that are bigger than a 1/4 inch, so we're just going to cut those with the spatula there as we find them. Don't have to get them all, but it's good to get as many of them as we can, have a consistent curd size. And we've been stirring for about 6 minutes now. See, most of these pieces are smaller now. Still have a few surfacing occasionally that are larger than a 1/4 inch. I'm just gonna keep gently stirring those so they don't stick together in the bottom and turn into one big curd. Okay, we've been stirring for 12 minutes now, so we got another 8 minutes to go. See, the curds are shrinking a little bit, expelling more whey. Okay, I've now been stirring for 20 minutes, so we're going to let that rest for 5 minutes. I've got a timer going right here, and while that is resting for 5 minutes, I am going to heat some water to 140 degrees. Okay, that was our timer. It's been sitting for 5 minutes. So now we're just going to ladle the whey off the top. And some curds floating up on the top, so I'm going to run this through a strainer, get some of the big guys go a little faster. We just want to keep going here until basically the curds are sticking out of what whey is left. Alright, that should be sufficient. and put our curds that tried to escape back in. Okay. So now we're going to add enough hot water to bring us up to 100 degrees. Our temperature probe is a little out of its league there. Add some of the way back in just to get the volume of liquid that we need for the temp probe to reach. Okay. Alright, so we want to raise it now to 108. We want that to take about 30 minutes, so we've got it on slow. And while this is happening, we're going to be gently stirring so that we don't mat up. And you see as I'm stirring here, the temperature is changing quite a bit. The curds will hold more heat. So if you get a bunch of curds around it and make the temperature go up, that's why you want to stir a little bit to keep the curds broken up, get your heat to distribute evenly, keep everything from sticking together. I'm going to keep this from going up too fast, turn it down a little bit. We're going to slowly go up over 30 minutes. I'm going to set a timer here so I can, 15 minutes, we'll go up 4 degrees. Okay, well, we've been stirring and raising the temperature slowly for 30 minutes, and we're now at 108 degrees. So we're going to give it a few seconds here, and then I'm going to stop stirring. Alright, and We are going to allow them to settle for 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. We've got the strainer here with the cheesecloth, damp cheesecloth in it. So now we're gonna ladle the curds in there. We can go ahead and turn this off. Okay, we apparently ran out of battery there. I don't know how much we missed, but I have ladled the curds out of the whey. I put them into a colander with lined with damp cheesecloth, and now we're letting them drain for 5 minutes. So we've got another 4 minutes left on the timer. We'll check back then and see what's next. Okay, we're going to get our cheesecloth untangled here. Lift it up. Some more of that whey out. Alright, I'm going to put this down here. I've got my casing labels here, so I'm going to place those one on each side. Just Distribute the curds a little more. Try to fill in any holes, low spots. Get it as flat as you can. Alright, now we're gonna fold this over. Try to get it as straight as possible. No wrinkles. Want it as flat and straight, and then we're going to put the follower on. Alright, now we're going to carry this in there and put it on a cheese press. Okay, and here we have it in the cheese press with 10 pounds on it. I've got this cheese press. It's a Dutch style cheese press that I've got over the sink here. You can see I've got some weight tied on it there. So this has got 10 pounds, and it's just going to drain into the sink as it presses the whey out. We're going to do the 10 pounds for 30 minutes, then we're going to flip and redress, and then we're going to do 15 pounds for 8 hours. Okay, and we have flipped and redressed the cheese, and now we have it back in the press, and it will be there for 8 hours. So we'll see it in the morning. Okay, we've been brining our Jarlsberg for about 6 hours. We're going to take the top off there. Really need that. Gonna flip this over just like so, and let it keep going. Alright, another 6 hours. Okay, it's time to wax the Jarlsberg. So have a little heater here, a little adjustable digital heater, so I can keep the wax melted in this little wax pitcher here. We've got our cheese here. You can see it's all nice and dry. I'm just going to put a nice coat of wax on there. Alright. Just kind of paint that on. And of course, as your wax starts to set back up, you'll have to put your little wax pitcher back on, let it heat up some more. We're going to do a couple of coats. Throw some more wax in there to be melting. Alright, I'm going to pause this and let the wax melt a little more. Okay, I've got some more wax melted and I've flipped the cheese over here. So we're going to put a coat on this side. Alright, I'll let that dry for just a second. And we're going to flip it up on the edge and we'll do the edges. Clean off the brush a little, it tends to build up some wax on the handle. Get that cleaned off while we're waiting on this to harden a little bit. Still a little soft. Alright. Now we're just going to turn it up on its edge like this. And I'm going to make sure we paint the edge really well. And we're just gonna keep doing this, keep painting the wax on until we've got a good solid coat all over the whole cheese. Alright, so now we're just going to let this continue to cool and harden. And then we'll peel off the wax paper and any little bits that get torn off there. We'll redo those, but for the most part, we are now done. I'm just going to put another little layer on this side to kind of even it all out. We got some little cracks in there. Just want to kind of smooth all this out. Alright, that's it. We're now ready to put this one in the cave to dry, and it's going to do 2 weeks at, I believe, let's see what it says here, 2 weeks at 50 degrees Fahrenheit with 85% humidity, flipping daily. After that, it's going in 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% humidity for 5 weeks. And then after that, it'll be ready to eat, or you can age it in the refrigerator for another 3 to 4 months.